Hey everyone, my name is Artem. I am co-founder of Hilltop Studios and I'm co-director of Lil Guardsman.
Hi, I'm Scott Christian and I am also a co-founder of Hilltop Studios and a co-director of Lil Guardsman.
Hello, I'm Matt Bernard. I'm a writer and game designer on Lil Guardsman.
I'm going to toss this one to Artem partway through, but where did Lil come from? At the beginning of the pandemic, this video is being filmed in Toronto, Canada. Our team is all over the world, but the three of us are in Canada. Artem and I started doing really long bike rides at the beginning of the pandemic. And what started as a, hey, we love games, it would be fun to make one. That was the kernel of the idea for Lil Guardsman. Mm-hmm. Now, where did Lil come from?
One piece of trivia is that there was an early moment where Lil was going to be sort of a Shrek-like troll. I want to be clear, it was a 5-minute conversation that we got away to. It was a route that we didn't take, but there was a moment where we had thought about it, and Lil is very much inspired by my daughter. She was born right before the pandemic. She's now 5 years old. She's very precocious, very opinionated, just everything I wished for and wanted in a daughter, and also I hope she's her own person. And Lil is very much inspired by my daughter and her approach to life and the way she sort of isn't afraid to take it on and to get in trouble, but to figure it out. She's very self-sufficient, so I think that was the starting point for it.
Yeah.
Matt, where is Lil? You so much of Lil's conversations and is you, Scott, and Jeremy kind of writing together. Where did you take a lot of inspiration from?
I'll say wide-eyed curiosity, but capping it with an opinion. She's, personality-wise, she's open, she wants to take everything in, she wants to know information, but she's not afraid to say her opinion about that information she receives.
Silence! Yes, it is gold, but it is legitimate. Certainly not blood gold, if that's what you were thinking.
Well, I wasn't before you said anything.
Oh, it is changed a lot. When we meet Lil, she's just a 12-year-old girl who wants to go on adventures. And she finds the idea of being a gate guard kind of boring. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? But through that, the inciting incident of being kind of pulled into a guard shift has changed her life completely. She's now doing things she would never imagine she could do, influencing the kingdom and having a part in orchestrating an entire war. It's matured her, but probably not enough.
Wait a minute, you're gonna give me, a 12-year-old, the power to rewind time?
Yeah, I'd say that one of the core themes in part one, in addition to sort of meeting the characters and getting to know Lil and getting to know the world, is sort of the A-plot is there's a princess character of the Sprawl, which is our game world, and her father has died previously, I'd say maybe 8 months, a year before.
Something like that.
So the sort of main plot beat in part one is there are two rival kingdoms who are vying for her hand. And you as the player are sort of making choices and shifting things and making a choice between these two rival kingdoms.
Yeah, so we had a very ambitious goal at the beginning to have over 100 characters in the game, which was ludicrous. I don't recommend anyone do that again.
I'd like to issue a public apology to Hoffa, our lead artist, who's had to design 100 beautiful characters.
Well, and so I think for any game developers out there, that that is a very big art pipeline challenge. That is something we tried to think about a lot at the beginning, especially when Scott and I were just starting out, is how to bring the characters to life in a way that wouldn't crush our small little team. I want to say that one of the biggest pieces that when we started working with Hoffa and Bruno, who are two brilliant artists, and they've taken some of the concept art that I've done and translated it into something that's beautiful and gorgeous, it is the characters feel alive as soon as you see them. That's something we focused on a lot, and they have a ton of personality. And the other dimension of that is as soon as voice comes in and as soon as the writing comes in, then they have depth, and that seems to be sort of big thing that we focused on with the game, and we hope you like it.
Before I go and face my destiny, can you spot me a fiver?
Some of my favorite characters include, and I can't give too many away because I don't want to ruin all the surprises, is one you'll meet early on, which is Senor Capello Fantastico. And he is a man in search of the most fantastic hat. And I thought that was such a basic, simple thing for someone to want, but it just became so beautiful in my mind. It's very subjective.
I love all my children equally. No. I would say I think I like the non-human NPCs a lot. One of the sort of through lines in our game is there's mounting discrimination against the non-human fantasy races in our game. So there's a lot. I feel like there's some urgency and tension with those characters that just has a lot of flavor.
Artem, any particular favorite characters?
My favorite character, and I'm saying this because Senor Capello is actually probably my favorite character because it's a bit that I didn't entirely believe would work, which is a man in search of a hat, and it works every time for several times. That's the only thing I'll say about that character.
So we're now in the home stretch of production. We've got we're counting down the weeks now, and it's funny because certain types of decisions are done. Like the game is there. As of last week, we can play from the beginning of the game through the end of the game, which is a crazy milestone. But I'm just loving now that we're into the shining, tinkering, polishing stage. So that's where we're at right now.
What makes me most excited about this launching is players playing it. I know that sounds hokey as I say it, but we've had a lot of positive reception to the demo early on, which is something you always hope for and never trust, I think, when you're making things. And to see people laughing at the game, enjoying it genuinely, having fun with it, commenting about it, it is such a pleasure. There's not always nice things on the internet. I'm sure we won't see nice things on the internet about the game.
Matt, what are you excited about?
What I'm most excited for the launch is just people's reactions. How they're going to discover the story and what story they discover. Since there's so many different paths through this woods you can take, everyone's going to take something away from it different, except for the people who go through every path of the woods and spend, a million hours, which I'm also excited for to see someone putting in all that work.
Honestly, if the fans are clamoring for the merch, we will show up with the merch.
I will 100% work really hard to make the Lil sweater. We did actually talk about the fact that we wanted it to be something that, for sure my daughter would want to wear, but I think when Hoffa made it,
I want to wear it.
In the meantime, there's knockoff merch available at Matt Bernard.
All right, thanks, boys.